All right, we are just about ready to get going. Had planned tonight to work on some different odds and ends. I'll get to what I'm going to work on in CircuitPython land in a moment, but I did want to start out and talk about something else, as you can probably see, that's on the screen. This has been kind of a weird, complicated, distracting day. But I'm looking forward to sitting down to work on some CircuitPython stuff. But before that, I kind of wanted to mention a couple of things. There's a few links down below me on the stream there, which are basically the two pages that I'm going to talk about real fast. For folks that don't know, today it's February 24th, where I'm at. I don't know the local time over in Ukraine. Maybe it was yesterday. Maybe it was today, maybe it's tomorrow. Time is weird like that. They're not having a great time over there, right? Russian military has invaded Ukraine, is attacking different cities and different parts of the infrastructure and different things like that. It's not a good situation. I don't want to spend too much time on it because partially I want to get to working on CircuitPython to take my brain away from this sort of stuff. But I did want to mention a couple of things for folks that might be like me and, scared and trying to come up with a way to have any sort of control in the situation, right? It's so far away and it's happening to other people. So it's easy to feel helpless. And I apologize. I don't normally, this is definitely the first time I've come on stream and talked about anything particularly emotional like this. So another couple of minutes and we'll get to the rest of the stuff I want to work on. But this is a website. Both of these websites are things you can do to try to help people whose lives are changing for the worse right now. You can try to help out in a small way. This Razom for Ukraine, this is, from what I understand, a group based out of New York that puts together different charities in different ways to help folks in Ukraine. So this page, which is on the bottom left of the stream over there, is the same link to get to it, linktr.ee, so linktree/Razom for Ukraine. This page has a big list of different resources for places that you can help donate, help stay informed, things to talk to your elected officials about. All sorts of good information and resources are linked onto this page. So I wanted to show that because that's one of the links that's on the bottom of the screen there. The other one, which is actually one of the things linked on this page, is this organization I found called Voices of Children, which I actually have pulled up over here. This is the English version of their webpage. They have Ukrainian language as well as, I think, German. So I have the English one linked down below. Since I'm speaking English, most likely the folks watching the stream are going to be speaking English. So I figured I would link that one. This is voices.org.ua/Ian. This is a charitable entity that is trying to help minimize the impact of war on children, which, as you could probably imagine, is a pretty impactful thing in a child's life. Whether they are displaced because their home has been attacked, or whether they are lost parents or lost other people close to them. Obviously there's lots of bad consequences of people fighting. So this is a place trying to help out kids in that situation the best I can. So apologize again. Give me a minute and I'll actually get to working on some of the stuff I'm interested in. Okay, so the stuff that I have to talk about that's more enjoyable today is I did get a visit from the old Adafruit Fairy. So I got delivered today by Portal Titano And I am working on making the Winamp application, which I have streamed a couple of times about, and it was in the on a couple videos this past week. So it's out and about, and I've got lots of great feedback on that in the past couple of days. And one of them was just that we want to be able to use it on the PyPortal. There's folks out there who have this, which is a bigger version, the PyPortal Titano, which is a bigger version of the PyPortal. And it has a different size screen. Let me pull up the product page for this as well. PyPortal Titano. It has a different size screen. It's, I want to say maybe 30% more pixels or something like this. PyPortal. So the regular PyPortal is 320 by 240, I want to say, and this one I think is 480. Yeah, okay, so regular PyPortal is 3.2 inches, and it's 320 by 240. PyPortal Titano is not a huge amount bigger in terms of inches. It's 0.3 inches bigger, and that would be the diagonal measurement from top corner to bottom corner. So it's a little bit bigger physically, but it is also 320 by 480 pixels. So it's actually twice as many pixels in one orientation there. So we have quite a few more pixels to work with. So a couple of things we need to do in order to make the Winamp project run on this PyPortal Titano. One of them is edit the skin conversion script to spit out, like, resize the skins to the proper size for this Titano. Another one is change where the things on the screen appear. Right now they're probably hard-coded XY locations, and those are going to match up with the size and pixels of the standard PyPortal. So we need to shift some things around a little bit. That's probably all we need to do. I will, if we find anything else as we dive in, then we'll tackle that as well. But I think those are the main two things that we would actually need to do in order to get this up and running and working on the PyPortal Titano, excuse me. So let's do that. And I just opened up the package a little bit ago, so I have not even taken the internal bubble wrap here. It's tiny bubble wrap, so we'll kind of do that, and then I'll start working with it. We gotta try not to let it come out at an angle here, or else the corner will get stuck. Let's work that side up a little bit. Maybe just cut it. So close. Oh, there we go. All right. Okay. It has been freed. I'm gonna leave the screen protector on for a little bit till I have to take some photos of it. I'm the kind that will leave the screen protector on for kind of an absurdly long time, but I have been told by Lady Ada to take it off when I take photos. So at some point, I will reluctantly remove it and take some photos without it. There's our Titano plugged in. Let me flip this over. It is a USB-C, which actually I did not know. Previous Titano is a USB micro. I don't know what the pint was. I kind of assume it was micro as well, but maybe my assumption's wrong. I would have assumed this one was micro also, I think, so. Let's scoot that up just a tad. Eventually we'll be going portrait mode, so doesn't matter if I get it perfectly lined up right now. So let's get the PyPortal Winamp code loaded, and then from there we'll start with the new stuff. I actually have already done the converter script, so I think that's actually ready to go. I need to test it out. hug report to Paul Cutler, I think, is who this was, which is, I believe, also the person starting up the CircuitPython podcast that's coming up, starting in March or sometime like that. I don't know the exact start date, so I apologize if I got it wrong, but I think that's coming up pretty soon. I'm definitely looking forward to it. But I believe that was the same person who was actually asking me about using this on the Titano, one of the people who's asked about it. And I believe that they tried out the resized skin, that it was working, but we'll get it on our device here. So I need the code. Let's go setup. Let's grab the project bundle. Save that. And so we probably also need to put CircuitPython, or no, I guess it's preloaded with CircuitPython. Okay. Oh yeah, I don't know, at PyPortal, maybe it didn't have Arduino when it first came out. I'm not sure. Usually these things ship with, lots of devices ship with Arduino test code. But this actually shipped with CircuitPython. Let's see. Oh, 5.0. It was loaded a while ago, though. Let's go ahead and update that. Only want to update that. Also, I'm going to rename this file. Otherwise, this little ding-dong is going to drive me a little crazy. Like that. Y'all probably can't hear that. I'm guessing the microphone's filtering that out. But there is this file. And I just do PyPortal startup. This is a little wave file that plays, and it happens to be set to run, I think, every time it boots up or something. So it plays that dong-dong, which is kind of fun for the first few times. But if you are working on your program and you're iterating a lot, then it kind of goes, and eventually it starts to get a little annoying. All right. Let me also just start up some music in my earbuds here. Let me do that. All right. So I'll save this. It looks like this is some standard. Ooh, does it work? Interesting. F2? I guess this doesn't work in here. I guess it would be Shift F6, but I'm just gonna do it this way. Preloaded. I think this is, looks like it's pulling the quote server stuff. Yeah. Keep that on for later. I will. Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained today, to say the least. Oh, okay, so 7.0 stable dropped today. So do we use that, or do we grab absolute newest? I feel like we'll grab 7.20 stable. I'm like very frequently on the beta or the absolute newest or stuff like that. So it's kind of a nice, I don't know, coincidence, I guess. I think this just dropped today, 7.20. So it is kind of the newest one. I'm sure there's maybe absolute newest is a little bit ahead, but is actually pretty up to date as far as the stable goes. So I'll use that in honor of it dropping today, I think. Maybe I'm incorrect. I could be off by a day or two, but we'll copy that. I need to get to the bootloader. Man, look at how much text can fit on that screen. That is that's beautiful. You know, I've eyeballed the Titano. You would think I would have picked one up before now, since I am so much into displays and stuff. I never did, though. Never did pick one up until now. It looks like you can fit so much text on it, though. It seems like such a neat device. Speaking of PyPortals, Lady Ada dropped a hint that there may eventually be a new PyPortal all-in-one, like ESP32S2 or ESP32S3, one of the chips that does not need a coprocessor. Right, because this PyPortal Titano has main chip, it's Atmel SAMD51, and then a coprocessor, which is an ESP32, and these talk back and forth. The main chip talks back and forth with the Wi-Fi chip to handle the network and then send data back and forth and tell it what to do and all that sort of stuff. But of course, like ESP32S2 and S3, those are the main chip, and they have Wi-Fi built in, so they can kind of do both roles of the two chips that are on this. So all in one, like, takes a layer of software out that we would no longer need, and just make everything all nice and a little bit more reliable, a little bit easier to set up, all of that sort of stuff. So really, really cool. Definitely hyped for that. I'm sure it's down the ways quite a way, but the fact that that hint was dropped definitely had me pretty excited. That was on Desk of Lady Ada, where Lady Ada actually was looking at the PyPortal Winamp project, which was a really neat thing to have them looking at that project that I worked on. So we're updated now, 7.2.0. I'm rambling a little bit. Let's go here. Let's put a CodePy, or we downloaded the bundle, right? So let's grab the bundle. I need to empty out my downloads folder. Looks like I already had a copy. Okay, so we'll need this, we'll need this, we'll need this, this, and this, and this. Basically everything except the converter. Pull that stuff onto here. I think that's gonna go to the right spot. It already exists. Had some libraries preloaded, it looks like. Sorry. It's not set to auto. Put it along here, so we're gonna go and find an actual playlist, and let's something that'll keep running for a little bit. Go. Okay. Let's make sure. So I'm surprised actually that that said init pi, because these should be wise, I would think. Keeps it as pi if it's blank? Actually, no, that's a little bit weird. Okay, well, each of them seem to have that. Alright, and now our CodePy has got this stuff in it. Connected here. Happen to see on the screen that it didn't run, so we have... yeah, we have one problem. Well, we have at least one problem, which is no SD card. Which makes sense, because I haven't put the SD card in it. SD card is actually still in this other PyPortal. I'm going to take that. I should probably grab the... So there's SD card right here. Put that in. Honestly, I should probably grab the playlist as well. Playlist has a list of all the files that are on the SD card. I'm actually going to plug in the PyPortal also. I try to stay with one CircuitPython device plugged in. That's called CircuitPy. I have MacroPad and some other stuff that I use sometimes, and I have renamed it so that it does not actually show up as CircuitPy. That way I can try to keep just one CircuitPy. It's one of the rare times we're going to jump to two, though. So I'm going to just copy playlist. Drop that on here. That's going to overwrite the default, which I think just has either... I don't know, maybe the default was my playlist, maybe the default was bogus ones, maybe the default just didn't have any songs listed. I don't actually remember what I set for the default. Okay, so yeah. This is what we get to start out with, which is pretty good. Kind of just... Well, you know what? Why don't I just turn the light off? Found that was working a little better for me. Let's see here. What's that? Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't know. Color's a little washed out, but it's good enough for what we need. So as you can see on the Titano, it does not use up nearly all of the screen, but it does otherwise work correctly. I guess the touching is a little awkward because it's not aligned with the image. It would still be taken into account the whole screen. So the way that the touch input for this project works is easy to visualize on this page right here. Basically, the whole top half is pause and resume. The bottom left is previous track. The bottom right is next track. And that would actually apply to the entire screen here. Even though this Winamp skin is only getting drawn right here, the touch input is actually still looking at the entire screen. So even out here would work, and especially like next track down here would work. So what we'll do is when we scale this, it will fit the screen fully, and then it will make a lot more sense, you know, because you won't be touching like outside of it like I just did there. So let me open up Learn Guide repo because I actually made the change in the converter script the other day. Yesterday, I think, maybe. Possibly the day before. Yeah, so I added this flag in the converter script where you can put either -t or --Titano as one of the arguments, and then it will use the Titano sized image there. So let me open up one other. I actually was doing the development of this project inside this repo over here, or it's a folder. I think I maybe didn't even make it into a repo. Now all of this code lives in the Learn Guide, but this was the one I was working on before I even had the Learn Guide code put in and stuff. So we can basically run now. Let's say we wanted to make the base one. That seems like a good one to start with. I'll just delete this for now. That's what we're going to recreate. But we imagine that we have, you know, base.png. We want to get it set up to run on our PyPortal Titano. We're going to go Python convert, what is it, Winamp skin. So we give it the file, so base.png, and then Titano. So either --Titano or just -t. A lot of command line programs use that paradigm where it's like you can either use --in a full word, or you can just use a single dash in a letter usually, or one or two letters, like a small abbreviation. Does not appear to have worked though, actually, because we did not end up with a base 320 by 240. Interesting. Let me delete this one. So one thing maybe is that... okay, yeah. So I actually changed this a tiny bit after I pasted it into the Learn Guide repo. Originally, it was only -t, and I actually went back and added the --Titano. So that was not there at the time. All right. So let's give that a shot again. Now we should have, yeah, base 320 by 480. So this one should fit on the PyPortal Titano better. So I'm going to paste it into just the root of CircuitPy, and then in CodePy, I'll just change this by 480. Our new one is. I'll save that. And now this should take up the whole screen. Yeah. And it's a lot more pixels, so it takes a little bit longer to draw. But it does get there, and it does occupy the whole screen now. So our next problem is that our text is in the wrong spot. It's still basically set up for the size of the regular PyPortal. So we need to scoot a couple of these things around a little bit to fit the amount of space we have. So, how do we want to do that? I think we should start by making a variable that just says, let me pause this. Okay. I think we should make a variable that says PyPortal Titano true. True. This way we'll have a high level switch. We can just like true false and go back and forth. So the skin is easy. You just change the file name. So that part we don't actually need change anything for. This probably messes up the touch also. I'm a little surprised that was working. Because these have a size in them. So really we need, if not PyPortal Titano, you do all of this. You're gonna end up with a fair amount more boilerplate code here. Else. So this is else PyPortal Titano. And I guess this will be pretty much all the same, just different sizes here. And there's two of these because it's two different orientations. Really the only thing that changes is the order that these pins get passed. So this one is YD, YU, and this one is the reverse, like YU and then YD. This one is XR and then XL, and this one is XL and then XR. So they're swapped around. That's how the rotation ends up working. All right. It should be good. Next, I think here we should just have another variable also, or argument. This one is PyPortal Titano equals PyPortal Titano. We'll just make that, we'll pass it into our Winamp application. And I think, okay, so we're gonna need actually, yeah, we're gonna need actually, I'm gonna make a size equals, this one is 40 by 320. One is 320 by 480. All right, so this is checking to see if the touch is on the bottom half. So this should be looking at the height, which is the second number, which of course has the index of 1, which is not confusing at all if you've been using base 0 for many, many years. Otherwise, it might be a little confusing. That's our width, and that's our height. Here's our width again. Did I have the math wrong on this? Could this have been a 320? So this is checking if P1 is greater than half of the screen height. Tells us yes, it's on the bottom half. And this one is saying, is it less than or equal to half? But yeah, it would have been half of the screen width because we're in portrait mode, so the width is 240. I think I wrote this wrong. I think this should have been 320 in the original code. And then now it'll be size 1. I mean, realistically, it could also just be else. Because this is checking for bottom half. Else top half is the only other option. I guess we could have done... Maybe we should do it that way, in fact, actually. Let me think for a minute. Is there any reason why this is beneficial to keep? We're filtering out, like... Because this one's greater than, and this one is less than or equal to, so we've... a line. I think we could just do else. We need this. Else. And then it doesn't matter. Then we can't get the number wrong, because there is no number. Alright, so I'm going to save that. Unexpected. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's not expecting that keyword argument yet. So I'm gonna go into here. Not like that. I'm not though, huh? App helpers. Why it doesn't know how to find that? I guess maybe it's because the root of CircuitPy doesn't have init. Treat it as a Python package. So we'll default this to false. So if it's not set, then it'll assume it's regular PyPortal. So let's save that. This should run now? Yeah. And I guess theoretically our clicks should work better now. It's running now. It's pretty quiet on this little speaker that it's got. What did I knock off? A second, I think I just knocked off something. Okay, I gotta pick that up, or else the cat is for sure just gonna bat it around the entire house overnight. All right, so next, let's scooch some of these things to where they belong. What's that? So yeah, we're just setting XYs on this stuff here. So we're basically just gonna have a little something like if PyPortal Titano, or well, just we'll go not, I guess. If not PyPortal Titano, then we'll do this. Else. Here we go. We'll still anchor by 0, 0, I guess, both ways, so we could actually put this outside, not duplicate it. Let's take this one, put that in there. So we'll figure out the numbers to fill into these now. So clock display, mostly these are gonna all need to go down and to the right some. Could probably go count some pixels somewhere and figure out, but I'm kind of a guess and checker, so honestly, I'm just gonna say we were at 4422. Let's try 6432. I'm watching the clock display here. Pretty close. Pretty close. I think we're gonna go just another little nudge to the right and some more down. Maybe one more pixel right, and let's try 38. All right, a little bit back up. 36. Because they're like lower than the colon now. Okay, sweet spot. 37. Oh. What is that? The safe mode? So, I ended up in safe mode a couple of times on my other... Yeah, okay. I think there is, I hesitate to go open an issue because I don't know if it's reproducible. But I have hit this a couple of times now, I think. If it's at just the exact right or wrong, depending on how you think about it, I think it's to do maybe with reading the SD card, but I'm not really sure. If it's, either like opening the file from the SD card or playing it through the wave, the MP3 decoder. Something about that, if it restarts at the exact wrong time during that process, I think we have some kind of bug that is causing it to go to safe mode. But I don't know reliably how to get it to do that if it's like... Because it doesn't happen every time. In fact, it doesn't happen anywhere near the majority of the time. It's like a pretty rare occurrence. I want to say that's maybe the second or third time I've seen it overall. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I'm liking the clock on that one. So let's get the title track next, the track title next. Go back inside of here, which it won't let us do. So we're gonna go in here. Oh, did I just... But these are fake. These are fake? Hold on one second. These fake? Yeah, these are fake. Okay. Whew. Thought I just opened... Well, I did just open the Secret Spy. It doesn't have anything in it yet, luckily. Let's pause that. Alright, so here we were at 13. Oh, no, that's the playlist. This one. Current song label. We were at 98.19. And we need to go over some more, so I'm going to try maybe 128. And... Oh, what do we think? Let's try 29? 28? Got a good feeling about 28. Alright, pretty close. Pretty close. Maybe just a tad more to the right and a couple pixels more down. Okay, a little bit further down still. I meant 32. This is probably too far. pretty good, actually. It's pretty good. We do have more width, so we could actually show more of the text, which I think we made this as like a reusable thing. So we just have, yeah, max characters 22. I don't know, did I make properties for max characters? Does that have to be set on a init? I don't actually remember. Yeah, no properties. Only gets passed in a init. So we'll actually need something more like this. Need another one of these. Maybe should not duplicate these. I don't know. Max chars 22 for the regular. I don't know, what does it look like we got room for? Another, I don't know, maybe half again as much? Got a variable now, we'll plug that in there. Maybe just a tad more to the right still. Okay. Yeah, and so the thing is, this one is actually short enough that it doesn't scroll. I think some of these might be a little longer. There we go. Okay, yeah, so that is actually too many characters because we're running off of the edge of the black box there. Okay. Oh, that was weird. We went back to 1. That's pretty good. I almost want to just go 1 less, maybe, because I also kind of want to scoot it in by 1 more pixel here. Just to give it that padding on the right, basically. So I want to subtract that 1 more character and to give it just a tad more padding on the left. Yeah, I like that. This way we're like clearly inside the box on all 4 edges. Before it was like, you couldn't really see a lot of the black box between the letter and the edge of the skin there. So. You know, I'm surprised the image actually turned out looking pretty good. I figured scaling up, so I think this one's actually scaling it up a little bit. It would have got fuzzy, but honestly on the screen it looks pretty nice. Alright, so playlist, we will move it down to here, and it looks like maybe we need to go in just a little bit. Let's pause that. Okay, playlist display is here. Probably don't need to move it too far in. It looked pretty good. We will need to come down some more, though. Probably a fair amount. Maybe 100 pixels or something. One looks like the one that's got to move the farthest. Yeah, that's pretty close. I think we'll go in a little bit more to the right, and then we definitely need to go down another little bit there. Let's try 20. Okay. That is looking pretty good. And we actually have more room here as well. I think actually limit. Here. So we'll make a max characters and we'll default it to 30. And then up here, where we init the playlist display. Yeah, okay, I think what I'm gonna do is, well, no, I'm gonna need to keep different ones because some stuff I need to do before initialize this. But then, like, this stuff definitely has to happen after. So we're gonna need multiple, so I guess I'll just reuse this one. That's 30, we already know. Here we'll try 38. Then we'll pass this here. Oh. Yeah, we gotta actually do something with it. Alright, so we'll set that there. And now when we slice by that amount. Alright, that's looking better. I actually want to make a longer one. Yeah, right now track 3 is the longest. Is it? It's the last one. Okay, those are actually the same. I'm just gonna put a fake extra bit there. This would cause it not to work if it tried to play it. But I want to see how far it goes here. So we actually have a little bit more room. We could get another, I don't know, 4 characters or something maybe? So this is back up here. We're at 42. Seems like a good number. Maybe one more, but maybe not. I want to see how it looks. I do want to keep still that padding on the right edge between the edge of the box and the letters, so Yeah, it's not bad. What if it was a letter that had a bar on the right side, though, like M? Or, okay, so longer, long M, even though that's not a word. I want to see how that looks. Okay. Yeah, that's alright. There's still room there. Although there's more room on the left. Yeah, let's back it off by one. Let's back it back down by one. Then it looks like it matches the left a little better. Yeah. Like that better. Maybe we have room for a fourth? Is it easy to just add a fourth, though? Let's look at our playlist display. So, parameters, it takes color, song list, current track number. So I guess if this were just bigger by one, we'd get 4 instead of 3. Yeah. Okay, that's easy enough. And that's inside update display, so it'll take effect pretty much for everything here. I can't go to song 3 or else it will crash probably because that file doesn't exist. Maybe I should have it catch that though. Yeah, we should probably catch that, I think, actually. No such file or directory on line 192. OS error. Catch. OS error. I think we just call next track. Turn, we don't need to do anything else. That'll just skip past it, I think. I guess we could print a message. Oh. Yeah, there we go. So it just automatically jumped me to 4. So it'll like double skip every time it runs across one that it can't find, but at least this is better than crashing. And it will print here, so if you happen to be looking at the serial console, you'll get a warning at least that it was not found. So we do need to fix that though. I just like changed that hard-coded 4. We do wanna make that sort of parameterized. Let's take one more. One track per row. Default 3. So we'll set that, and then we still need to pass it when we initialize. Playlist display, right. Oh. Oh no, I don't need commas. Those are individual statements. We get that again. It seems like I can just reset and come right back from that. Although I say that, and this time it didn't actually. Maybe I double tapped the reset, honestly. I felt like I kind of hit it a second time accidentally there. Yeah. All right, that is looking pretty good. Pretty good. I'm liking it. All right. Oh. Hmm. So, actually, our logic makes it so we can't previous our way back through that song that was not found. I mean, ideally, if someone has a song that's not found, they'll fix their playlist. I also think we'd, like, trap them. You could scroll forwards and it would wrap around. Not that great of a user experience, though. All right. What if we caught it higher? Can we catch it inside of next and previous? We caught it here. We could actually wrap this and catch it, and then we could call next track again, because we're inside next track. We could do the same thing here and then call previous track again. So you skip one extra in the direction that you're going. Yeah, I think that's best. So this one's in next track, so it's gonna call next track. Let's make this recursive. If you had all songs that it couldn't find, it would go infinite. Not the best, but theoretically people should have songs that don't exist, but I think this is better still than what we had before. This one will go previous, so it always goes the same way. So if you go backwards, if you go previous track and land on 3, which is the file not found, then you'll get another previous track and get back to 2. There's our auto jump forwards, and there's our auto jump backwards. Yeah, I like that better. We duplicate the try-catch, but it means we can advance in the way that the user's expecting. So I think it's worth it. Extra code is worth it because it creates better behavior. All right. Do we need anything else for the Titano? I'm thinking this looks pretty good. This looks good. Y'all comment up a few of my... Well, I need to add doc strings for the new parameters, and maybe I'll also comment a couple of these. I guess this would work on the pint too, because it's the same size actually. Well, it's the same number of pixels as the regular PyPortal. Whoa. Alright, Titano clock display location and playlist display parameters. Applies it. Playlist display. Tempted to go up here and just reuse one of these if statements, but I also kind of want to keep it down here since the stuff that it's used for is down here. It creates extra code, but I think it makes the code a little more clear, and since this gets put close to where it's actually used instead of just randomly up here, even though we could do it without an extra if statement. Okay. I do have one more, actually. All right, now we got them all. So let me do the parameters too. Good thing here is I made that scrolling label generic enough the first time that we were able to reuse it with no changes. We just changed the way we initialize it. These ones we added the parameter to them, so we'll need to we should at least document it. Obviously, the code would work fine without it, but... Okay, we did rows actually already. Oh, did we have one more though? So yeah, max card. My guess is Pylent will be mad that these lines are too long. Maybe Black might just shorten them for us anyway. Alright, so those are the two things we added. We got them documented. Clock display, we did not have to change anything. I mean, theoretically, we could scoot these a little bit farther apart, I guess. I suppose technically they would be a little farther apart if we were keeping the scale the exact correct, like the exact right aspect ratio of how this stuff looks on the small one versus the big one. The other thing, though, is our text is the same size as the small one, too. It's not like we have slightly larger text or anything. Unfortunately, we're using, well, not unfortunate, I mean, it's just fact of life. It's not really unfortunate. We could always use a custom font, but we're using the built-in font, and the only control we get on the built-in font size is we can scale it by integer multiples. I can scale it by 2, make it twice as big or 3 times as big, but we don't need that much. We would only... If we were going to go any bigger than we have, we would maybe go like 10 or 20% bigger, maybe. So we can't really do that with the standard font, but we could with custom font, because with a custom font, the size is actually built into the font file. We use BDF or PCF font files, and the size is actually encoded in there. You have a single file for, you know, size 12 font and a different file for size 14 font or whatever. So load it up that way, but I think these look all right. I don't think we need to bother with actually scooting them further apart based on the Titano. I think this still looks good. All right, so let's grab our code, and then we're gonna drop that back into Learn Guide. I'll like click this to go to it here or something. No, not really. All right, well, oh, jump. Well, ah, yeah, look at that, jump 2. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Okay, so that had, I see, that was actually blank by default, but so we'll save that. CodePy we'll need also. Okay, and then I actually did already do the change to the converter script like I talked about a little while ago. And I did also check in a copy of the 320 by 480 base BMP. We're actually good to go on that as well already. Let's just take a look at our changes here. Oh, I should put that back. Yeah, we don't want that change actually. And actually, I should set this to false by default. And I'll go back and check this on the regular PyPortal as well before we actually make the full pull request. That's looking good to me. Okay. There's our size there, and our else. Okay. Okay, new parameter. Defaults to false. Okay, so we have more stuff for the clock display. Just move it to a different place if it's the Titano. We're also setting up the parameters that we'll use for the next widget, which are the playlist display, max characters and rows. Thing here, X and Y, is going to be based on whether or not it's Titano. Like this just got some spacing. It looks like we got an extra indent here, maybe. I'll still run pre-commit, or, well, I don't think it has pre-commit, but I'll run black. Just a minute here. Characters. Okay. More formatting here. Can put this back as well. That's from where we added the try-catch the first time. I ended up moving them to here. There's the next track one, and there's the previous track one. Next characters, rows, that's our two new arguments. We store them into fields, I guess. Could keep extra lines there, that's two. This has got our self.rows instead of our hard-coded 3. And then max characters field instead of our hard-coded 30. All right, yeah, it looks pretty good. So I will run, let me run Pylint. Should have run black first, maybe? Too many statements. So we're probably just gonna give it a Pylint ignore for that, I think. Oh. I had unsaved changes. Probably undid anything I changed when I was on that merging screen. It's just inside of an. Yeah. That's probably just getting an ignore, honestly. You know, we had to add more stuff to the initializer because now supporting twice as many devices. We have a fair amount of code that's basically duplicated depending on which device you're on, so. See if I remember the right. Oh, yes, I did. Okay, yeah, we went up to 10. Okay. The way it shows your previous run there trips me up sometimes. Alright, now we're good there. And then I'm gonna run through these changes again, because a couple of those like empty lines or whatever that I grabbed from the other side. There was also stuff like the variable. Oh, and this as well, yeah. So these are the things that would have gotten blown away there, because I didn't actually save before I ran black. Meant that we lost the changes I made. Took the changes that black gave us instead. There was much in here. Maybe just a blank space, too, somewhere around where we had that try-catch originally. Yeah. Okay. That's looking pretty good to me. So, last thing I'll do is I'm gonna head here, GitHub. Is this failing from my merge? No. Okay. Separate those actually. CodePy with Titano configuration boolean updated helper display widgets screen size. Okay. So we're ready to make this, but I also do want to double check on PyPortal regular. I'm gonna unplug that. Got my other PyPortal here. SD card. Did I not pull that over to be false? I pulled that. I guess there would have been nothing to pull over because that didn't exist before. Yeah. This is what I, okay, yeah, this is what I pulled over. That makes sense. Okay. I should have had this set to false. I've updated it now. Okay, so we updated that. Then our helpers. Perfect. This one is still looking good. We have only 3 lines back to the playlist. Nothing is too big or out of place or anything. Everything is exactly where it's supposed to be. Background image is the right size. So yeah, looks like we successfully have updated that with the configuration. This should show an extra commit now, yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna take one more peek just because I made some of these changes the other day. So that's this stuff here. So Titano or -T in the command line arguments, and we're gonna use the bigger size. Otherwise, we default back to the smaller size. Previously, we only had the smaller size. We used to also hardcode 240 by 320 in the file name. Now we put in numbers based on the size, which ties back to that argument on the command line. Now we have new PyPortal Titano variable. Set up the touchscreen to the appropriate size. Well, we create a size tuple at the appropriate size. We set up the touchscreen also to the appropriate size. Same thing, this one's for the Titano. Pass through our true false to our high level Winamp application. Okay, we used to be hard coding sizes, now we're pulling it out of our tuple. We used to have unneeded logic here, and it was actually incorrect as well because I think it should have been 320. Now we just go with else. We did get a PyLink complaint, so we added that. That's our new parameter, PyPortal Titano. Okay. Same old XY from before. Number of characters was 30. Number of rows was 3. That's all standard in Pint. For the Titano, we got a different XY. We got more characters and 1 more row. Pass in those extra 2 arguments now. Same thing for playlist X and Y here. Same thing for max characters value here, which gets passed into the scrolling label. Okay, same thing for the position of the track title. Okay, our new try catch, when we try to play the track, if we couldn't find it, skip to the next one. This is inside of next track, and then we have the same thing basically inside previous, where it will skip to the the previous, the one before the previous. Okay, 2 new parameters, max characters and rows. Get them passed in here. Default values 30 and 3. Set them onto some fields. Use rows instead of hard-coded 3. Use max characters instead of hard-coded 30. Pretty good. Okay, I'm probably gonna head out, I think, after that. The other thing, which I do still want to do, which I may do on stream at some point, but I don't think I'm, I think I'm about out of juice tonight, truthfully. So maybe tomorrow night or maybe on Saturday when I stream in the morning. The other thing is, I want to make it so that if you don't fill in playlist.json, it will look on the SD card and try to find all the files it can by default. So basically we'll give people an option to just not set up the playlist, and instead it'll try to play all the MP3s that it finds on the SD card. That'll be another enhancement, but I don't think we're gonna do it tonight. Yeah, so let me share this with Paul. Yeah, thank you, Seagrover. Appreciate it. Or this was Paul. Let me, this is all public in the help with channel. Anyway, here I has my warning for streaming mode, but yeah. Okay. Cool. All right, so we'll let them know. And yeah, I'll do that SD card stuff, I think, next time. So yeah, thank you, Seagrover. Thank you, anybody else who is watching or who watches in the future. And before I head out, I will just point out again, the links on the bottom are places that you can go to help in various ways. Donating money is one of them, but there's also resources for just reaching out to your representatives and reaching out to other folks and just getting information. Some of those are just informational links and all of that sort of stuff. So some of it's donations, some of it's just informational. Some of it's contact, people who you can contact, that sort of stuff. But those are what the links in the bottom are all about. Linktree, Razum for Ukraine, that's the one on the left there. There's a bunch of different resources linked on that page, and then one of the specific ones, voices.org.ua, that's the country code for Ukraine, voices.org.ua/en for the English site. This is a charity that works to try to help minimize the impact of war on children that it affects. So seems like a very good cause to me. I will be donating to some of these different charities in the coming days, and if anybody who's watching has the ability to, then that's good. If not, there's other ways you can help out. Again, that first link has stuff beyond donation as well. So I will leave you with that. I'll be back definitely Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Central Time, for my normal stream on Saturday. Yeah, and deep dive, I think next week, I'm pretty sure tomorrow deep dive, if there is one, is still just Scott. But I think the next week after that, next Friday, I'll be joining Scott. I'll dial in or whatever. We'll get on a video chat and talk for a little bit, and then the deep dives thereafter I will be doing on Friday afternoon. So that's where we're at with that. I think that's, again, not tomorrow, but starting next week, I'll voice chat with them for a little bit during deep dive, and then after that's when it'll be just me. So yeah, thank you again to everybody, and I'll catch you next time. Definitely Saturday. So yeah, have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you then.